Waves recently released a tool that is literally going to change the game when it comes to mixing your vocals. This tool gives you access to professional engineers' mixing chains for vocals, drums, 808s, instruments, and anything else you can think of, plus the power of AI when you aren't sure what's needed for your mix. That's right, the power of AI is in your DAW now. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down what this tool is and how you can use it to take a song from this to this. This magic tool by Waves is called StudioVerse. And StudioVerse is an extension of StudioRack that lets you browse through and use hundreds of different mixing chains made by professional engineers and all other users of Waves plugins. That's right, anyone who uses Waves plugins has access to these presets. Regardless of whether you have one Waves plugin or multiple Waves plugins, you'll have access to the presets that are relevant to the plugins that you currently have. Now, obviously, this is going to be much more beneficial to those of you who have more Waves plugins or have their Creative Access subscription plan, which gives you access to all of their plugins. With Creative Access, you're going to be able to get the most out of all of these mixing chains because you'll be able to use literally any single one that is on here. I personally love when plugin companies offer these monthly subscription plans only because it gives you a great opportunity to try out all of their tools and plugins for a really low price without having to go and buy each and every one. This should give you a good idea of which ones you really know and love, and once you find ones that are your absolute favorites and must-haves, then you can go buy licenses for just those specific plugins, which I find is going to be way cheaper in the long run than trying to just buy a bunch and hoping that you're going to actually like them. So if you currently don't have any Waves plugins, or you're looking to start using the Waves Creative Access plan so you have access to all of their plugins, I'll leave a link down in the description where you can check out the Creative Access plan, and they even have a 7-day free trial so you can try this out completely for free for a full week. But once you have access, you now can use any of the plugin chains that are inside of StudioVerse. Alright, so here we are inside of a Pro Tools session. Now, this is a pretty bare bones session. It's literally just the beat up here. We have 2 lead vocals, which is kind of just one lead vocal going back and forth, and an Adlib track right down here. So you can see the only plugins I have loaded right now are StudioRack, just one insert on each of these tracks. But none of them have any plugins or presets loaded. This is just a blank StudioRack. So you can hear the session beforehand. Okay, so you kind of got an idea of what we're working with here. All I've done is set the tempo to the right tempo, and I've kind of leveled some things. So I brought the beat down just a little bit, and I brought the vocals down a bit too to kind of just match and sound good here at a dry state. But let's start diving into StudioVerse and show you exactly how we would use this on this song. So here inside of StudioRack, now this is the newest version of StudioRack, version 14. You can see now there's a whole section over here called StudioVerse. This is where we can search for different preset chains, and we can also search for different creators, all kinds of different things from this search bar right here. You can also click this little button right here to open up a menu, and this menu just gives you a bigger display of everything. So you have your liked content, your recent presets, and your user presets that you've uploaded yourself if you have any. So you can obviously go through here and just select through this list. You can see a lot of big name engineers are showing up here. A lot of big name artists are going to be uploading presets and different chains that you can use just from a click of a button. All of these are free to access. As long as you have all of the plugins available, you'll be able to just click and load these up with just a click of a button. Boom, and it's going to load that preset right over here onto StudioRack. And you can see that these are the plugins that they used to create this particular preset. But let's go ahead and reset this to just a stock factory version of StudioRack, and I'm going to use the AI scan feature here within StudioVerse. So all we have to do is just kind of push play in our session and let StudioVerse listen by clicking this scan button right here, or you can click this button right here. If you don't have this big menu open, you can click just this button right here. Cool, so you can see it just got done scanning, and it's giving me some selections of different options here that we can select based on the source music that we have in our session, which is awesome because a lot of these vocal presets are going to be matched for this style of music without us having to do much searching or really much thinking about which presets we want to use. So let's click through some of these and try them out. Okay, this one's called Crispy Vox. This is the power on and off, so this is me kind of disabling and enabling just to hear what this is doing here.
See all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show.
Okay, let's try a couple of these others. Lead, male. Let's see, this one's actually made by Waves. So you can see some of these macro knobs are going to show up based on whoever's creating the preset. They might include more or less of these macro knobs, which just help you edit the preset without having to dive in to the actual plugins that make up the chain. You can just control everything from the macro knob section right here.
See all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, think I'm fucking with some freaks. When I ain't with her, the only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep. I'm locked in the focus, I got so many that's in need. But when she in my presence, put my mind at ease. But the weight on my shoulders, it make it hard to fucking sleep. Cause I got a family to feed, some people in need, a promise to keep. See all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show.
So that's pretty awesome, just being able to scan our song and get a bunch of different preset chain options just by letting AI decide what are going to be best for our mix here.
See all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, think I'm fucking with some freaks. When I ain't with her, the only place I wanna be.
Let's try a few more of these here.
See all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show.
This one's warm voiceover, so this isn't even meant for necessarily music. This is more for voiceovers, it looks like, but you know, it even sounds pretty good here. Male pop lead vocal.
See all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks.
So you can see these are some pretty cool options. Now, you may recognize this guy's mug right here. These are actually some of my presets that I've added to StudioVerse, and we're going to get to those in just a second. But for now, I wanted to show you if for whatever reason you wanted to actually look into some of these profiles, you can click on the actual three dots and go to the creator's profile here. And this will open up a web page where it's going to show you this particular person's profile here and all the different chains that they've created. So this is cool because now you can say if you have a favorite engineer or a favorite creator that you want to use their chains, you can easily search for them just by finding their particular profile. Now, once you've found the one that you want, you see you can visit the individual chain here, and you have the option to copy or drag and drop. Now, if we copy, what we can do is we can go back over here into Pro Tools, and up here in the search bar, we can just paste this, and boom, it's going to show that particular preset right here within StudioVerse in our studio rack, so we can load it that way. Or let's say we go back here, and I'm going to load that other preset back up. We can also just click and drag. So if I were to just move this over here and literally drag and drop this right onto our studio rack plugin, boom, just like that, it loaded the plugin preset chain right here just by clicking and dragging it directly from the Waves website. So that's pretty handy and definitely gives you more options when it comes to searching for your favorite preset chains by your favorite creators. Now, speaking of some of your favorite creators, wink wink, let's go ahead and dive into the 3 free presets I wanted to give you from this video. So if we just search MadRes Studios right up here, you'll see I actually show up here as an artist, and you can click on this, and this will give you all 3 of my presets right here for you to click and load just with one click of a button. So the 3 presets that I've provided for you here are a lead vocal track, a nice modern crispy sounding lead vocal chain. I also have a preset up here for a nice Adlib vocal, which is going to give you that kind of background vocal sound for Adlib so that they're not in the way of the lead vocal, but still gives you some good energy. And the last preset I have here is called Wake Up, and this is a beat mixing preset. So this you can actually apply to your 2-track beat and use it to mix your beat if you find that the beat is just lacking energy or just not quite hitting as hard as you'd like. Throw this preset on there and see what it does for you. Let's go ahead and kind of jump in here and see what these can do for this particular song here. So I'm going to load the modern crispy lead vocal onto our lead vocal track here. Let's give that a listen.
You see all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I...
You can tell right away that there's a lot of volume coming from my particular preset here. So we can turn the volume up and down right here on the main fader within Studio Rack, or obviously you can just turn the volume up and down within your normal track here in Pro Tools. So let's adjust that just a bit.
You see all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her, the only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep.
So down here you can hear that's still the dry vocal. So this is going back and forth between the processed and the dry vocal.
The only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep.
We can tell that that one's going to need some work too. So let's go ahead and load up this preset on here as well. I'm actually just going to go ahead and copy this over by just clicking Option and dragging this down. That's just going to copy this exact same preset down onto our studio rack down here.
The only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep. I'm locked in the
Let's also adjust our volume down here to like -7.
Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't.
Now we can adjust this to our liking with these macros here that I've included. So if we want a little more energy or a little more edge on the vocal, we can adjust this knob. We can add some more texture, some more highs, lows. Let's go ahead and play with this a little bit and see what sounds best for this song.
Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her. The only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep. I'm locked in the focus, I got so many that's in need. But when she in my presence, put my mind at ease. But the weight on my shoulders, it make it hard to fucking sleep. Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her. The only place I wanna be. Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her. The only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind. Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her. The only place I wanna be. Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her. The only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get.
Okay, I'm digging that. I'm going to go ahead and copy this down here.
Hey, shit run deep, out on the road. I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her. The only place I wanna be.
Okay, that's got some vibe and some energy now, but I want to jump up here to the beat real quick, and I want to show you what this beat mixing preset can do. So let's go ahead and search for MadRes one more time. Here we go, and let's load this Wake Up preset here. Now this, again, is going to be for mixing a beat, the whole 2-track beat. So not the individual beat stems, but this here is just a YouTube beat. But this here is just a beat downloaded from YouTube more than likely, or downloaded directly from the producer's page. And you can see we just have a 2-track beat. So I'm going to go ahead and add, if I need some punch, if I need some extra thickness, if I want to adjust a little bit more of the kick and the snare. This is just kind of some EQ curves and some compression, some saturation, some different things that are going on to enhance the beat in a nice subtle way. So let's show you what this is doing here. I'm going to go ahead and actually mute the vocals real quick. Here's With It On, before. You can hear it really enhances that guitar, and it really brings out the drums in a nice punchy way, but we can, again, mess with all these settings. Let's go to where the beat's actually kind of going a little more. What I was really hearing with this beat is it had some pretty good low end, some good knock, but it just lacked a little bit of high end energy around the snare. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this snare a little bit. I like that energy. Now it does show that it's clipping a little bit, but if you look inside the rack here, we actually have a limiter that is limiting things, so it's really not peaking. The last plugin you see here is this EQ, and actually that's kind of this last knob right here, which I wanted to show you. If you wanted to add a cool kind of filtered effect where things kind of dip underneath water, or sounds like they're kind of going underneath water or something like that for a certain part of the song, check this out. You can just quickly adjust this filter knob. So that's really cool. If you want to automate this knob, you can just easily enable this for automation, and you can draw in some automation here where this will go and move around according to whatever you want it to come in or out. A lot of times I like to just kind of have this come in for one part of the beat, maybe for the end of the verse or something like that, and then right when the chorus drops, it goes right back to normal with no filter at all. So you can experiment with this and play around. That's why I put this knob here, though, so you have more versatility with this particular preset chain. So let's get these vocals back in the mix here with this new beat mix.
Shit kept on coming, trial after trial, yeah, nigga kept on fumbling. Stay down. Think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her, the only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep. I'm locked in the focus, I got so many that's in need. But when she in my presence, put my mind at ease. But the weight on my shoulders, it make it hard to fucking sleep. Cause I got a family to feed, some people in need, a promise to keep. I can't be out here running the streets, so I stay focused on the mission so the family go.
Alright, let's hear a before and after of everything again real quick.
Think I'm fucking with some freaks when I ain't with her, the only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep. I'm locked in the focus, I got so many that's in need. But when she in my presence, put my mind at ease. But the weight on my shoulders, it make it hard to fucking sleep.
Alright, last thing we need to do is add this Adlib in here. So I'm gonna open up our Mad Res one more time. And let's open up this Let's Get It Adlib vocal and see what this can do for our Adlibs down here. So let's go ahead and just kind of solo this part real quick so we can hear what's going on. So you can hear this has got a real filtered kind of sound. It's got a lot of reverb, a lot of delay, and it's also got this auto pan effect, which is making it move back and forth, left and right in the speakers, which is really an awesome effect, especially for adding movement when you have that lead vocal right up the center. This is going to add a little bit of more stereo information so that we get more width and just more entertaining to listen to.
Defeat, we the season, we the mob with a new dynasty, yeah. To feed some people in need, a promise to keep. I can't be out here running the streets, so I stay focused on the mission so the family gon' eat. You know what costs they be.
You can tell I have these really tucked in the background because I don't want them to be too distracting. Just kind of some ear candy in the back, you know?
Family to feed some people in need, a promise to keep. I can't be out here running the streets, so I stay focused on the mission so the family gon' eat. You know what costs they be the boss and I done paid all the fees. I be down to we gon'.
You can adjust all of these settings again if you want to make this sound different. You can go through these macro knobs here and adjust all of the different sound. If you want less filter, more compressed, less compressed. I kind of like this texture. This is a little nice modulation, some sort of phaser or some sort of flanger going on. In the rack settings, you can see you got meta flanger here. And that's what's really cool about a lot of the presets that I make with Studio Rack is I like to make things really complex as far as how they're set up, but I want them to be really easy for you to use as a user. So you can just tweak these knobs and get a really cool sound, and this is actually in the background doing 2 or 3 different things potentially, maybe moving 1 or 2 different knobs of 2 different plugins all at once to give you this sound. But again, I want this to be easy for you to use. So here you can just adjust all these settings. You can also decide if you want auto pan on or off down here if you just want it to be straight up the middle. Versus panning around.
It all started off as a motherfucking youngin'. Was born with a grind and that shit kept on coming. Trial after trial, yeah, nigga kept on fumbling. Couldn't stay down bad, no, I had to do something. Picked up a pen, now we 100 miles and running. And I put all of my niggas focus on the mission so the family gon' eat. You know what costs they be the boss and I done paid all the fees. I be damned if we gon' starve and I put that on.
So yeah, let's do a quick before and after again to see how far we've come with these few presets from StudioVerse.
You see all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks. When I ain't with her, the only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep. I'm locked in the focus, I got so many that's in need. But when she in my presence, put my mind at ease. But the weight on my shoulders, it make it hard to fucking sleep. Cause I got a family to feed, some people in need, a promise to keep. I can't be out here running the streets, so I stay focused on the mission so the family gon' eat. You know what costs they be the boss and I done paid all the fees. I be damned if we gon' start.
So yeah, you can see the power of mixing with just one plugin here. Well, obviously a lot of plugins behind the scenes, but just with one plugin, you can load and quickly access all kinds of different chains from all of your favorite creators and engineers, all from this one search bar. This should unlock all kinds of creative doors when you're in the recording phase or in the mixing phase, when you're looking for inspiration and trying to find new sounds for new presets. Now you have access to all kinds of different ones made from all kinds of different creators, as well as the presets that you'll see me adding periodically onto StudioVerse. Now, these 3 presets that you see on here currently are actually from my vocal drip pack that are currently available on madresstudios.com. So if you want to check out more presets that are like the ones featured in this video, including mastering chains, all kinds of melodic and lead rap vocals, ad-libs, background vocals, and more beat mixing chains, definitely check out madresstudios.com. I'll have all of the links down in the description for you. So what are you waiting for? Go open up a new session and load up Studio Rack and check out some of these mixing chains within StudioVerse. I think you're going to be pretty impressed. I'll see you guys in the next video.
She see all of my pain, shit run deep. Out on the road, I ain't been home for some weeks. Killing the show, she think I'm fucking with some freaks. When I ain't with her, the only place I wanna be. She say what's on my mind, that conversation get deep.